Okay, statistics question 7. An English teacher determines that there is a positive linear relationship between students' scores on an essay test and the length of time the students take to complete the test. Okay, based on this information, which conclusion is valid? So let me just make sure that you understand. I find that, doing a little chart, basically, if the students, the amount of time that they take on a test, okay, and their score, it's saying that it is a positive linear relationship, which means it's going to roughly be kind of somewhere like this, okay? Which means the more time you take, the greater likelihood of a higher score. But keep in mind, a linear relationship is not predictive, okay? So let's look and see. Let me rephrase that. It's not absolute. It's somewhat predictive, but it's not absolute, and it doesn't mean that one thing causes another. So there's a high degree of variability in things like this. So the student with the highest score on the essay test took the longest time to complete the test. Doesn't necessarily mean that. So the student with the highest score, is it possible that one dot could be over here? Didn't take much time and got a very high score. Sure, that's possible. You could have had an outlier, which means that is not a valid conclusion. A student who takes more time to complete the essay test will have a higher score than a student who takes less time to complete the test. Here's the issue that I have with that. Will have a higher score. That's an absolute. There's no maybe, there's no possibly, there's no it correlates with. It's saying that he definitely will. In other words, if you're not sure, just sit there for longer and you'll have a higher score. Nope, doesn't work. C, students with lower scores on the essay test tend to have taken shorter times to complete the test. Notice tend to have adds a certain level of uncertainty because it's not saying it's absolute. This one is a maybe. I'm going to come back to it in just a second. Let's look at D and just make sure because we have to choose the best answer. Students with higher scores on the essay test tend to have taken shorter times. That's actually the opposite of what happened. Higher scores tend to have taken more time. So that is not correct, which means the gut instinct that C is correct is right. So we're going to move on to the next one. This is your redemption question. There are two little frames here. So let's talk about this. Chris is a songwriter, and he wondered if there was a conclusion in his music between the number of measures in the song and the number of words. So here we go. He says that twice for some reason, and it goes, he's got the scatter plot going, okay? So what can be interpreted from this data? And you can read here, and I'll make this larger for you so that you can read it well on your screens. Okay. There's both a positive and a negative correlation between the number of measures in a song and the number of words in the song. Or is there a negative correlation between the number of measures and the number of words? Or is there a positive correlation between the number of measures and the number of words? Or is there no correlation between the number of measures in the song and the number of words? So you're going to use these words, these possible answers, okay, and this graph to try and answer this question. Good luck.